Prepare yourself for a gripping tale of betrayal, tragedy, and a decade-long hunt for justice that will leave you stunned. Today, we're unraveling the haunting story of a hairdresser whose life was brutally cut short by the very trade she loved. Though witnesses spotted the killer fleeing into the night, a lack of solid evidence left the case cold, until an astonishing breakthrough 10 years later turned everything upside down. What really happened? Let's dive into this chilling mystery and find out. The story unfolds in Spartanburg County, South Carolina, USA. Our central figure is Dina Satfield, a 27-year-old hair salon owner. Not only was she strikingly beautiful, but she also had a knack for connecting with people. Her charm drew a loyal crowd of regulars to her shop. Married with 2 kids, Dina's life took a turn when her marriage hit rocky waters. Emotional clashes with her husband, my Satfield, led to constant friction, and eventually, the couple decided to separate. Little did she know, this decision would set the stage for a nightmare that would soon engulf her. Let's rewind to July 31st, 1995. It was a typical Monday. Dina, as both owner and sole stylist, was working late at her salon as usual. At 6:30 p.m., she bought a bottle of cleaner from a local vendor named Shirley before heading back to work. At 8:11 p.m., Shirley, on her way home, passed by Dina's salon and saw her tidying up inside. They exchanged a quick wave, and Shirley continued on. By 8:30 p.m., as Shirley waited for a ride under a street lamp near the salon, she noticed the lights inside suddenly go out. Strange noises followed. Then, out of nowhere, a man leapt from the salon's window. Spotting Shirley nearby, he yanked his gray t-shirt over his head and bolted down the alley. Terrified, Shirley sprinted in the opposite direction, aiming for a nearby shop to call the police. Fate twisted the scene further. Moments later, she stumbled into the man again near another store. They locked eyes for a stunned few seconds. Shirley caught a clear glimpse of his face before he turned and fled, vanishing into the night. Panicked, she waved down passing cars for help, but it was nearly 9 p.m., and the sparse traffic ignored her, likely assuming she was just hitching a ride. Finally, she reached a shop and dialed the police. Officers arrived swiftly at Dina's salon. Inside, they found her slumped lifeless on the bathroom floor, back against a cylindrical water heater. A cord was tied around her neck, its other end knotted to the heater. Bruises and blood marred her body, hinting at a fierce struggle that ended in her tragic death. Beyond the bathroom, the salon was untouched. Her purse sat on the table, keys beside the intact cash box. Robbery was ruled out. Forensic experts arrived, wielding an ultraviolet lamp that revealed traces of semen at the scene, though lab results were needed to pinpoint DNA. My Satfield, Dina's estranged husband, rushed to the scene after neighbors broke the news. The police questioned him immediately. He explained their separation stemmed from marital woes, though they hadn't divorced. Devastated by her death, he cooperated fully. But when his fingerprints matched one on the water heater, suspicion flared. Dina was a hard-working entrepreneur, beloved by clients, yet killed in her own shop amid tensions with Mai. He became the prime suspect. Shirley, the key witness, was called in. She described the man she saw: white, brown, or blonde wavy hair, about 5 feet 8 inches, 145 pounds. A police sketch based on her account didn't resemble Mai, a bulky man who'd struggled to fit through the salon's small window. Mai explained his prints were on the heater because he'd installed it, a claim backed by a coworker. Despite initial theories of him hiring a hitman, no evidence stuck, and Mai was cleared. At 8:40 p.m. that night, another witness driving past saw a suspicious man near a customized green Ford SUV, gesturing threateningly. The timeline stacked up. 8:11 p.m., Dina waved to Shirley. 8:30 p.m., Shirley saw the man jump from the window. 8:40 p.m., the SUV sighting. If they could find that vehicle, they might find the killer. A public alert went out with the sketch and SUV description. A car enthusiast reported seeing a large green and white Ford SUV wedged between trucks that night near the salon. Police traced similar vehicles, finding footage of one with a consistent license plate. registered to a woman named Mary. Mary was cooperative at first, admitting her son had driven the SUV that night, but insisting he was innocent. As scrutiny mounted, her car matching the suspect vehicle, she grew frustrated, posting a sign on it, "Vehicle checked, please stop reporting." She reported police harassment and withdrew cooperation. A witness viewed her SUV from afar, but couldn't confirm it was the same one, stalling the lead. Lab results confirmed Dina was likely assaulted, but no suspect DNA was found initially. A forensic expert, puzzled after recalling UV evidence, retested everything and extracted DNA from a comb. With no suspects to compare it to, the case went cold, unsolved for years due to missing links. Fast forward to 2005, 10 years later. Spartanburg police, unwilling to let the case die, reopened it under a new chief who believed outdated tech had hindered the original probe. Detective Thomas Smith was assigned. He consulted a retired FBI profiler, an expert trained to analyze crime scenes and predict offender traits. After reviewing the case, the profiler pegged the killer as a young white male, familiar with Dina's routine, a salon client, infatuated with her, poorly educated, and likely gone from the area post-crime. As Smith hunted for matches, Dina's mother called with a new witness, Michael P. Michael, a 27-year-old auto shop worker, surfaced a decade later. Dina's now 18-year-old daughter visited his shop, sparking a conversation. A co-worker remarked, "That's Dina's kid, grown up now." Seeing her stirred guilt in Michael. He approached Dina's mom, hinting he knew something from 1995. Meeting police, he demanded anonymity, citing past threats. He fingered his old friend Jonathan, Mary's son, as the killer. At 17 during the crime, Jonathan was shielded by his mother's refusal to let police question him. The SUV lead had fizzled, so they'd backed off. Michael and Jonathan were tight, often cruising together. That night, after dropping Michael off from bingo, Jonathan mentioned Dina, her kids, her separation, his attraction to her despite their age gap. Michael laughed it off, angering Jonathan. Later, Jonathan insisted on getting a haircut at Dina's salon despite the late hour. Days after the murder, at a pool hall, Jonathan warned Michael to keep quiet about the other night or face death, saying he was enlisting and leaving soon. They never spoke again. Jonathan matched the profiler's sketch. Young, white, knew Dina's habits, left town. Police compared Shirley's 1995 sketch to Jonathan's photo. Uncanny resemblance. An ex-girlfriend revealed his violent streak. He'd beaten her, once driving past Dina's salon and boasting, "They tried pinning a murder on me, no proof." She mentioned his missing fiancée, Heather, last seen with him in 2002. On September 24th, 2002, Jonathan picked Heather up. They hit a bar, and she vanished. He was suspected, but never charged. Smith tracked Jonathan down, arranging a casual chat about old cases. Jonathan agreed, but ghosted. With mounting evidence, Smith forced a DNA sample. It matched the comb's DNA from 1995. Jonathan was the killer. In October 2005, Jonathan was arrested. He denied knowing Dina. At his November 2006 trial, he pleaded not guilty, but the DNA, witnesses, and profilers' fit overwhelmed him. He got life without parole, sobbing in court, "The real killer's free. I'm jailed, and she got no justice." Heather's case lingered. Blood and blonde hair found in an abandoned car in 2006 hinted at her fate, but it wasn't confirmed. Jonathan stayed a suspect, uncharged. In 2010, he savagely beat a fellow inmate, pushing his parole eligibility to 2035. After 10 years, Dina's murder was solved, but Heather's fate remains a haunting question mark. From a criminal psychology lens, Jonathan's profile screams volatile obsession and control. His fixation on Dina, violent outbursts, and threats suggest an impulsive yet calculating predator. The assault and staging reflect rage and entitlement, while his flight and silence post-crime show cunning self-preservation. Heather's disappearance mirrors this pattern, escalating aggression unchecked by remorse. This case highlights how charm masks danger and delayed justice leaves wounds unhealed. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Goodbye. Asterisk asterisk.